Hi guys, Lenormand time. So this is going to be mid-May to mid of June. So this is actually one of my favorites, if not the favorite. My steady clients just like, do Lenormand cat, please do Lenormand. It kind of like tells you, hey, look left and look right. This is who might be anticipating what can happen. You know, with Lenormand you get lots of things that you kind of like we hope for the best, but we prepare for the worst. And this is sort of like almost telling you kind of like, hey, jump over this, etc., etc. So also really quickly, the school is starting on the 15th. So last call for this, kind of like check my website, cattera.ca, and check kind of like the schooling schedule. The second thing, my speed up promotion is still on, which is awesome. Instead of 3 weeks, you kind of get a reading within a week. And I also upgraded Rush, so instead of 7, you get it in 3 days. And Urgent, which used to be 3 days turnaround, now you get it in 24 hours. So if you kind of like really want to get a reading, this is a really good time, because one thing that I miss in Canada is spring. We kind of transition from winter to the summer. So just a couple of weeks ago we had a snowstorm, and now my air conditioning is working like full force. So hence I'm going to be spending some actual time with myself and with my close ones in the summer. So kind of like try to squeeze in yourself in time. And so I also wished happy birthday and happy belated birthdays to all Tauruses, as well as the birthdays for Geminis, who will be also celebrating during this period. So without much further ado, guys, I also ask you to please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and all the best. Love you. Hi Aries, and welcome to your May-June Lenormand. Guys, this is again general reading, and it's also good to check your ascendant and check your moon sign, because you can kind of like pick up bits and pieces everywhere to kind of like get a little bit more rounded kind of like view of what is ahead of us. In Lenormand we have two main significators, the gentleman and the lady, and kind of like don't focus yourself on one of them, because both of them can be you. It's a general neutral because it is general reading. When I do the private reading, I actually really focus on this energy a little bit differently. So I'm going to give you storylines that actually I see. Now, both of these significators, so it could be one of them can be you, another one can be another person, are kind of like really trying to heal something, heal a rift. I see the snake and I see the mice over here, and mice next to the house is never a good combination. And also we have the fox and snake and mice. Like, so the three sinister cards over here. So definitely clearly triangle, not only that snake could indicate triangle, but like literally we see triangle over here. So whether the triangle existed or it is going to exist is kind of like question here. So it would be really good to hear from you over here. Now, some of you really need to get some answers. oh my gosh, you have like kind of this book over here, and different Lenormand decks have different kind of things. Sometimes the book is open, and here it is closed. We kind of are not privy to some kind of information. Also, we have the moon, and as we know, in the moonlight, it's kind of like hard to see things. I feel, Aries, it's very important for you that you acknowledge your sense of, I would even say, morality, your sense of honor, because like this is where you're meeting with this person, right? You're also meeting this person in Fox, you're meeting with this person in Snake, and you're meeting this person in the Ship. So absolutely, I can see that some of you are really, really longing for this person who could have been somebody extremely important, because the house is here. You could have actually lived together, or you know, you feel that maybe you don't have that unit that used to be strong and kind of like anchored, that kind of like somebody, and it could be more than one person, because the Fox can be a person, it could be somebody sly, you know. Sometimes we have situations where the entire family is against one partner. And why? Maybe, you know, sometimes you have an argument with your spouse, with your girlfriend, on a steady kind of like squeeze, and you're just trying to get that stress out of your system, and you kind of like slip through it. Oh, like here, she did it to me. So this bits, pieces here and there, just like I told you, kind of check different kind of like readings over here. People start to form their own opinions, and usually we complain. It's kind of like how it works, like that negative thing. We have this need to get it out of our system, right? So hence we express the negativity, but not so much the positivity, right? Positivity seems to be more internalized and more to be one-on-one, where negativity goes outside, and that's why you see people lashing out on the public forums and using kind of like this kind of as a way to get that things that are building up inside of them out. So there could have been that there was like generation of whole bunch of small things, because when I say the mice, I'm thinking they're destructive forward and backward. They're pooping behind, they're like eating and destroying everything in front. So it could be that you have been destructive. It could be that there are other people who kind of like almost like started to ride you. Well, you know, you said and so is like doing so and so, like you have to do this, you have to do this, right? Now, a confusing thing to me is a little bit about the ring, which is actually next to the snake. So the two of you, all three of you, are actually meeting in this ring. So here we have this why. And frankly, the word that just like flashed before my eyes is not only why, as in the question why, but also radioactive. That there is a situation that is kind of like coming to a point that is not manageable anymore, because like too many people want to kind of like create that kind of like new dress, or you know, too many cooks spoil the broth over here, and everybody wants to have their say. You know, my profession is to give advice. My profession is like not only here, so not so much, because I kind of like see what I see, and I say, well, this kind of like is what I found works in the situation. But sort of like in my coaching business, where I'm trying to kind of redirect people to kind of like think more productively, or kind of like find an easier solution for themselves. But in my private life, I don't give advice anymore, because it is like a sense of arrogance that I give advice if I'm asked. Okay, let me clarify that. I would never give unwelcome or unsolicited, like something unsolicited, right? Because this is like the sense of arrogance. Like, you know, my brother told me once, and he is a buff guy. He's like a really handsome guy who's like tall, huge, like this big arms, right? And he doesn't do it because he's a gym rat. He does it because that's just simply his hobby. He's doing this like for 25 years. So lots of work behind this. And his wife is also into this fitness stuff, and this is something they have in common. So he's saying he's in the elevator with a guy who is like a chubby with a big kind of like tummy. The belt is like actually not being able to be seen because the tummy is rolling over. And he said this whole trip in the elevator, this guy was like blabbing away about the advice. And just my brother is Aries as well, so kind of like makes it more appropriate. And like my brother is like saying, what the heck is wrong with him? Like, look at me and look at him, and he is giving me fitness advice. I think it's a sense of, you know, it was this Baz Luhrmann song. It's sense of nostalgia. We want to help. We think that we need to resolve the problem for someone. Men tend to be like bigger sinners in that respect, when sometimes women want to have them as a soundboard, and they want to resolve a situation and they make things actually worse. So how do you like me in distress? Well, why don't you wear this and this and this? So the question was, I don't like you, I do like you, kind of like give me one of these two, kind of a thing, right? And this is like that age-long communication. Venus and Mars kind of like have a different way and different kind of application. But I see over here that almost like this Mars seems to have an agenda, and Venus is tired of it, meaning that there is like something that has been going on, that you feel that maybe somebody was undermining you and giving you this like unwelcome and unsolicited advice, and you're sick and tired of it, to the point that you're saying, look, this is really unhealthy. I need to distance myself from it. I need to kind of like figure out something new. I see Aries. So I don't know, any Pisces over here like that's kind of like slipped out as well. I see that some of you will be really work oriented. It's going to be lots of things, like lots of cards kind of line up regarding work, because relationship wise you have the mountain and the clouds and the coffin in the house of the fish. So kind of like it's maybe not the dating time. It's kind of, let's resolve these challenges. So whether you have a partner or not, it could be that there is like the significator representing an issue, and that issue could have been that you have been relying too much on advice or guidance of the others, or maybe you have been pushed through in the name of, in this company we do this, or well, in this family we do this, Lannister always pays their debts, kind of a thing. Or that you have been mainstreamed into something. In your Aries, you kind of like, you follow if it makes sense, but if it doesn't make sense, you're the first one on the way out. And I can see that here. It's simply kind of like reaching the boiling point, and you're saying something like, it doesn't make sense. Because I can see here, you're going to look in the health of your finances. You are going to look into something that you have closed down. It was a project that you had that maybe you got even rejected. So this could be like looking for a new job, like you're opening so many things, because the book and the garden kind of like means there is something that for some reason, maybe this simply means closing down certain kind of resolution, kind of understanding how you will handle certain people. It could be the family. We are like getting this Mother's Day right in front of us. It could be that simply these kind of situations are becoming really difficult, because instead of like being a happy event, it is becoming unhappy. And I think this generation these days, we are kind of changing these old attitudes. We don't have that nuclear family anymore. We are actually going in a completely different direction, where instead of, let's say, respect the elderly, we actually disrespect them these days, and that's actually a horrible thing to do. But they're like people like that, which I really hope are not on my channel, and I wish them well. It's kind of like the new earth. You go there, I go here. But their like new attitude that I'm talking about is like equality, where there is no anymore I'm here and you are here, that we have the hierarchy, but sort of like how do we help each other? That really almost like teamwork. You know, they used to have that before when they had like almost like a community that kind of like raised the child, hippies, etc. But this time around is like different. Like there is like no need for a relationship of some kind of structure anymore. It is like kind of like the support system that is more productive, I would say. I do definitely think that you are moving in a much better direction. Work is going to be very, very important. Almost like big decisions will be made. You have the cross in the house of a cross. So this is to me, karma card. This is to me something really important. Because you do have heart in one of the corners and the bouquet in the other one. So you are really dedicating yourself this month in sort of like clearing things out. Something that has been burdening you, and or somebody that has been burdening you, maybe you even long for them, you're putting that to rest. Almost like you are making that decision. I guess the problem a little bit in reaching the decision was clarity and what's going to happen next. And almost like it's getting to the point, I don't care about the clarity. I am leaving. And I see that the clouds are finally going to come in, open. The sun is going to show. And things are going to work out. And I can see you down the road dating, meeting people. It's going to be, period after this, it's going to just like simply brighten up. So you're fed up with something and you're not going to take it one more second. And you know, I always said, what is worse than going through a bad situation for 5 years? Well, 5 years and 1 day, or 5 years and 1 hour. And you are at that mark where you are kind of like not taking it anymore because you were hoping that certain way of doing will resolve certain things, but it didn't. And at this stage, you're kind of like doing and going in a different direction. So my dear Aries, enjoy your month. If you want your private reading, contact me at cattarot.ca. And please make sure to share, subscribe, and like so you're invited to my live sessions. And check my Instagram and Facebook. And your comments are always welcome. I love to read them. All the best. Love you.